Well, if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving certainly is not for you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Full Velocity TV. Hanging out with our buddies over at FTF Racing tonight. The 2018 FTF Verizon Cup Series playoffs. Race number 2, race 28 of the season, right here live tonight at the Richmond International Raceway. The Z200. Special thanks to Zachary Stoltz for the race sponsorship. And great to have you guys out there all on YouTube live here tonight. Good evening, everyone. Phil Lacasse here, along with my broadcast partner, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton at the controls for us here on Full Velocity TV. And Todd, 1 week ago at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we saw Taylor Morgans do a clean sweep of the night. Won not only, won the race, won all 3 stages of the evening, had a car that was capable of sitting on the pole. Taylor Morgan's our defending champion, one of those guys to look on here. Heavy hitter to come here at Richmond tonight for this main event.
Yeah, definitely glad to be a part of the FTF playoffs here. Race number 2 here at Richmond. Taylor Morgan's taking home the first win of the season. And I tell you what, now he's locked into that next round. He can gamble just a little bit more here tonight. He can make fuel mileage. He can make tires differently. He can do whatever it takes. All he needs to do is go out there and win. I mean, he's already locked into that next race, so maybe he can keep somebody else out, Phil. That's a key determining factor here for Taylor Morgans here this evening. Can he make a clean sweep here at Richmond? There's a lot of fine drivers out here at Richmond, and it's short track racing at its finest. I call this a mini super speedway inside a short track there, Phil.
Yeah, it is the action track right here. 3/4 mile. Richmond International Raceway has given us so many great races before, and this one here, the guys at FTF is certainly going to, do just that for us tonight. Going to be a great night. Point leader Taylor Morgan's going to start deep in the field here this evening. He's going to roll off the 36 car from the 8th spot, but we'll go into the full field starting lineup here in just a couple of seconds here. Also go over our current standings as the way of these guys sit going into the second race of the playoffs. But first, we're going to throw this thing trackside and honor this great nation on Salute the Heroes Week for us here on Full Velocity TV with the playing of our national anthem. There is no better way than honoring this great nation with a national anthem to start us here tonight, just in the middle of Salute the Service Week for us here on Full Velocity TV. We've teamed up to the guys at TDR Racing, where we've got 3 great events going on for them here over this week, doing a great fundraiser for the Wounded Warrior Project. Looking out there to make a donation, head over to the Full Velocity TV Facebook page there. The link is posted, and all proceeds will 100% going to go to the Wounded Warrior Project. We'd like to appreciate all the support for donations. We ask you guys all out there, any league, driver, anywhere you may be, please share that link out there, and let's raise for a great cause here as we're saluting all our heroes this week. Service members, first responders, anybody responsible for keeping this great nation safe. And we thank you guys all out there for that, for doing so. And we can't say thank you enough for what you all do to keep us safe and serve and protect us all. So, Todd, we get ready to go here. The Z200 at the Richmond International Raceway. A great field of race cars on hand here tonight. I'm going to see if you're ready to do this old school Full Velocity TV style, Todd. What do you say we dive into tonight's Z200 starting lineup? All right, well, I'll take this over. I was seeing if Todd had me on the queue there. Not quite, but Todd will handle this for us. No, you got the controls down there, and it keeps you plenty busy out here when we come back to NR 2003. Plus, if we get the starting lineup underway here, On the pole will be car number 26. That is Kevin McAdams with a 21.041 lap. Alongside of him, Brian Mercurio aboard car 44. Second row on the inside, the 30 is Corey Carpenter, to his outside, the 25 car this week being piloted by Brandon Hawken. Third row inside car is car number 9. That is Brandon Lawson. The 71 car is Chris Wetz. Fourth row back, we find car number 64 to the inside. That is Tyler Head. Alongside of him, last week's winner, the current series points leader, the defending series champion, rolls off the 36 car. That is Taylor Morgans. Making up row number 5, the 1 car is Jonathan Taylor, and parked next door to him. Great qualifying run tonight for the 79 car of Nick Baker. Sixth row on the inside, the 01 is Michael Frisch. Alongside of him, the 166, he won here on FETV last evening. That, of course, is Blake McCandless, this 166 car. 13th starting position tonight, we find the 53 of Justin Malello. Arnold Columbia rolls off next aboard the 39. Jordan Buster in the 8. Jake Poulin in the 67 car. Cosman Ian O'Shoe's car number 24. Nick Gunther's in the 10. The 10th row is made up of Zach Buchanan's 19 and Ryan Araki's 37. Let's go trackside.
Drivers, start your engines.
Well, the fire engines here at Richmond for 200 laps around. Continuing on in the 11th row will be car number 23. That is Jeffrey McClintock, perched alongside the 47 car. That is Sonny Tallman. Steve Rada making a rare appearance to FTF. He rolls off car number 3 from position 23. And alongside of him in the 43 car, that is Kyle Riley. Zachary Stoltz in the 00 car rounds out our field here. So 25 drivers strong for 200 laps here. 3 stages of racing. Stage lengths tonight, 50 laps for stage 1, 50 laps for stage 2, and 100 laps to settle it here tonight around the 3/4 mile action track. The Z200 Todd about to take to the green flag up front. A pair of championship contenders in Kevin McAdams and Brian Mercurio. They're looking over the starter stand. Starter's going to look over the field. Green flag in hand, we are underway.
Green flag is in the air. Mercurio gets a good start on the top side of the speedway. That's at number 44 you see on the screen. Yellow and black, number 44. Kevin McAdams a little bit loose there through 1 and 2. And that Dorito is one of my favorite paint schemes of all time here. Kevin McAdams now falls back into second right there in front of Corey Carpenter. And that number 30, Sunoco sponsored machine. Number 9 sitting there in that 4th spot. That is Brandon Lawson. And the 25 right now of Brandon Hawken is running 5th.
Yeah, Brandon Hawken having a good run. Great to see him out in the field here tonight. In the Randall Coleman number 25 car. Randall drove that car all year long at FTF, but, you know, unfortunately, a late season injury took him out of playoff contention. Not going to run the rest of the schedule here. It looks like full-time. Brandon Hawken jumping in that 25 car tonight. We're sure Brandon's going to give it a hell of a ride here at Richmond. Up front, old Mert, Brian Mercurio, the 44 with the race lead. Kevin McAdams right there in his tire tracks. I'm waiting for that 3rd place car there, Todd. The 30 of Corey Carpenter. We have seen him succeed here at Richmond in multiple occasions. The Sunoco Chevrolet Camaro Z1 currently running in the 3rd spot as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, currently running in that 3rd spot. Corey Carpenter has been nothing but a slouch here on Full Velocity TV. Any TV that we've been a part of, it looks like yellow flag is going to fly here, Phil, for the very first time here at Richmond. They do things just a little bit different here. FTF as we see the yellow flag out there on the speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. Caution flag for the first time tonight. Looks like something happening around the number 3 car of Steve Rada, Todd, to let you go back there and take a look. But yes, these guys do something completely different at FTF. If you're not familiar with it, you're experiencing this league for the first time. They do something that we call gentlemen's yellows. The yellow flag in the game per se does not display to the field. The administration, they will call out a caution flag if there is issues on the racetrack. They will slow the field down to a pace speed, and you know, that will allow the guys to come around. They'll close pits the first time by, let the field catch up, open pit road, and in a scenario where there's no cars a lap down, it can minimize the caution flags to as little as 1 to 2 laps at a place like a Richmond. That's going to allow us more green flag racing. It lets you guys out there see more of what's going on here as we're getting ready to go here. But under the caution flag for the first time this evening, Todd, the 3 car Steve Rada encountering looks like a couple of issues down there.
You may see the 3 car, but I seen the number 23 spinning here. That's Jeffrey McClintock in the number 23. As we watch McClintock down through here, it looks like, well, I'm going to say the 3 car, Steve Rada, getting into the back of the 23 McClintock, sending him in the spin cycle into the outside wall. Hard hit to the outside wall, almost pancaking that left side of that car. Steve Rada slows down, knows he did wrong there for the 23 McClintock, almost hitting those barrels there as he gets it back going. Not sure what happened to our splash screen for caution, Phil, but we went to a black screen there momentarily. There's no caution overlay for some reason. Not sure. There's feast or famine here with full velocity as of late. I think somebody's playing with my keyboard half the time.
Yeah, I'm just not going to touch on what that possibly could be here, but yeah, I'm hoping everybody's left that trailer alone. Know a lot of guys out there watching out here tonight. Sometimes you see some imperfections, sometimes you hear imperfections, and let's face it, nobody is perfect. We're all fallible, and we're doing the best we can. 2 guys bringing a 15-year-old game to life and doing it in the style, the way, and the presentation we try to do it out here is we get back to live green flag racing here momentarily. The field in turn number 3 and 4. The lights are out around the speedway. Brian Mercurio, Kevin McAdams, Corey Carpenter, Jake Poulin, Taylor Morgans, and Brandon Lawson will make up your front 3 rows. The field looking over the starter stand. Green flag back up in the air, Todd.
Green flag back up in the air, trying to scurry to get up here and watch these guys run. Number 44, Mercurio, now up front there. Got a good restart over the 26 of Kevin McAdams. The 30 of Corey Carpenter is highly contested there for that 3rd spot by the 67 machine of Jake Poulin. Poulin right now running in 4th. Corey Carpenter still running in 3rd. 4th or 5th right now is Brandon Lawson in that number 9 machine. So trying to make some headway there is Brandon Lawson. Here comes the number 25 machine of Brandon Hawken way down on the bottom side, making that thing stick on the bottom, trying now up to the 6th spot. Here comes the 01, Michael Frisch in that number 01, running a really good race there, running in about the 7th position as he got around Taylor Morgans. Now a battle for that 5th spot, starting to heat up. That's between the 25 of Brandon Hawken and the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. Made that short-lived there. Slide job maneuver there for the 25 of Brandon Hawken. Hawken gets around Lawson. The battle of the Brandons. That was an interesting play there for the number 25 machine. Rather quick here this evening, and the 25 is Brandon Hawken.
Yeah, the Brandon show was up there racing for 5th. Put Hawken of a 25 up to P5. Move Lawson to the 9 car back to 6. Michael Frisch, you got 1 there as well. Looks like he's now able to make his way around the 9 car. Brandon Lawson was caught up in the outside lane there, Todd, and that's something at Richmond. You say it kind of runs like a speedway. It's kind of like that. Richmond notoriously kind of a bottom groove kind of racetrack, maybe a lane and a half wide. It's very rare at Richmond you see here in this old NR 2003 sim. The high side starting to play up there. You see the 9 wash up the racetrack again. Allows Taylor Morgans, the 36 car, to sneak on by. But Richmond's an awfully tough place to pass, and you get these guys all lined up single file on the inside. It's almost a scenario where you may enter the corner 5th. You may come out there 25th by the way these guys run. But caution flag now on the speedway. Caution flag for the 2nd time tonight. And looks like this may have kind of got the 166 of McCandless. The 53 of Malello also may be involved there, Todd. So we're going to have a couple different things here to look at with the 2nd caution flag of the night. Now working lap number 12 here on Full Velocity TV. The Z200. Playoff race number 2 for the FTF Verizon Cup Series. Great to have these guys aboard back here in 2018, have all 10 of these playoff races. We're here last week at Las Vegas where we saw Taylor Morgans to victory lane. We're back here at Richmond tonight. We're going out to road course racing next week, where hopefully these guys will make an announcement post-race here tonight live on our airwaves. Are we going to see a Roval, or will we be at a different road course next week? That's all I know. We'll be turning right and left next week when we come back here Sunday night to Full Velocity TV. But Todd, under caution now for the 2nd time this evening. I see you already have it on the screen. Why don't you describe to the viewers what happened?
Yeah, definitely decided to rewind it back here rather quickly here. Didn't even have to throw up a splash screen that time because I kind of caught it out of the corner of my eye. This all begins with a 53 of Justin Malello. Looks like he caught the guy in front of him just a tad bit. He did hit the brakes, and when he hit the brakes, it shot his car up the track, hitting McCandless. McCandless gets the 43, the 23 of McClintock, and I believe that's a 71 machine there. I'm not sure. I think it is a 71 also involved. Sonny Tallman in the 47 involved. So tough break for those guys. Blake McCandless using a little bit of Fitz magic here tonight. Hopefully that does not jinx him here in that 66 machine. But, Ryan Fitzpatrick having a fantastic outing the last couple of weeks for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm a Fitz fan because he did play for Buffalo. But not a bad run for the 66, but not probably how he wanted to start it here at Richmond.
No, absolutely not. The Fitzmagic thing, Todd, I really like that. Blake being a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, let's face it, has been lighting the NFL on fire, which is really cool. But hopefully the stock here for that car after the hit doesn't go down faster than Dak Prescott this afternoon. But we'll leave that for another day, another song, and we'll go on from there. But couple of lead runners have come toward pit road. It's kind of shaking up this field a little bit as we're getting ready for a restart. I believe maybe this time around, maybe not, waiting for race control to give you that heads up of a 1 to go here. But Brian Mercurio still with the lead over Kevin McAdams and Corey Carpenter. 4th position on back is where we saw pit road get really busy. The 37 of Ryan Araki was in. Also looks like Jake Pullen, the 67 car, unofficially scored 5th. Brandon Hawkins 6th. Taylor Morgan 7th. Michael Frisch 8th. Brandon Lawson 9th. And Jonathan Taylor up to 10th. Todd, we're back to Green Flag Racing. These guys do a fast one on me. Wasn't sure they were going back green, but I guess they sure are. They're off turn 2 for the first time in the restart.
Yeah, green flag back in the air here. 15 laps of 200 complete here. Richmond here for the FTF Jones Cup. I should say the FTF Verizon and Jones Cup. Jones Cup, it's always been the Jones Cup, and they changed it up a little bit on me here with the Verizon Cup here this coming season. But it's one of those things here it's difficult when you get used to all the sponsors. All the sponsors pretty much heavily involved here with FTF, and hopefully we can get through some of those here throughout the whole season. The rest of the 10 races here, I'm going to say 8 races after tonight here, left in their form of the chase here. So right now, Brian Mercurio in the front here in position number 1 in the number 44 machine. The 26 of Kevin McAdams running in that second spot. Corey Carpenter, Jake Poulin. Ryan Naraki was up to 5th. Brandon Hawkin having a good run, hit right back up to in position number 5. So Hawkin on the move once again. That number 25, that Randall Coleman owned entry, is Brandon Hawkin making some moves here with that number 25. Ryan Naraki drops back to that 6th spot.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're back single file for the time being, making some laps. But, Todd, I want to just kind of reverse field there as I see one car go up the speedway there. Looks like Jake Pullen going to lose a position there to the number 1 car of Jonathan Taylor. I believe that may be racing inside the top 10. But, Todd, I'm going to take you back on a little journey here. Do you think the guys at Monster Energy would appreciate if, say Dale Jr. called them Winston Cup on TV? This is the Verizon Cup Series this year at FTF. I know the guys it was a Jones Cup here forever. I know it's hard to get that out of the system, but this is the Verizon Cup Series. Those guys put good money up there. Let's give these guys a little bit of horseplay back and forth here is Todd and I, we kind of do this on the fly. Todd can talk to me through two-way, but I can't kind of do it behind the scenes. So we'll take you on a little magic journey here as I've been riding along with Taylor Morgan's, Todd, the 36. And he's a guy, anytime you sign into FTF, you expect to see up near the front. And, why wouldn't you? A multiple-time winner, defending series champion, last week's winner on the airwaves. Well, Taylor has slid back to the back end of the top 10. So Taylor Morgan's currently sliding in the 8th spot, but he's allowed the 1 of Taylor to go by. The 1 of Fritsch has also gone by. So Taylor Morgan's a guy we thought would charge near the front. He started to slip back a little bit.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan's trying to make some momentum happen there, and he's just falling back there. Like you said, Jonathan Taylor in that number 1 machine able to get around it, but he did have a little bit of an instant there where he was slip sliding in that number 36 fast break, the Reese's fast break machine, as he was sliding there on the bottom, looked like he got a tad bit loose, and that allowed these other guys to be able to catch up to him. Meanwhile, Brandon Hawkin charging towards the front, now battling with the number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter. You got by him 0-1 of Michael Fritz in the 0-1. Also got around Corey Carpenter. So 25 of Brandon Hawkin now up to 3rd as he's making his charge up towards the front. Kenny says sail, though, and catch Mercurio and at McAdams up there. They're about a second and a half ahead of this group that we've been broadcasting here, Phil. And it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can catch those 2 drivers.
Yeah, and Mercurio and McAdams, those guys are driven away to well over 2 seconds over that battle for 3rd place between Brandon Hawk and Michael Frisch, Corey Carpenter back there as well. The question I got for you, Todd, is Richmond, notorious a track where if you drive it too hard, you can abuse the right front tire in a hurry. Now, I know these guys use a different, kind of EXC package that kind of changes the dynamic of how these cars race. But Richmond's got to be Richmond in any shape or form. You got to think those guys up front, maybe just killing their tires. You wonder how long they can afford to run that torrid pace because they're starting to drive away from a lot of really good race cars.
Yeah, definitely. But if it's those guys that are out front, Kevin McAdams, the seasoned veteran, I'm going to tell you, of NASCAR 2003 season here, and a seasoned veteran here at FTF and the different things that are going on. So Kevin McAdams, no slouch. He knows what he's doing, and he knows the entries here at Richmond. I heard him talking to a couple of his teammates earlier and trying to help out his teammates, which a lot of us sometimes forget to do, is they were helping out each other, trying to get themselves faster. Kevin McAdams, that type of guy that wants his teammates to be able to beat him week in and week out. He don't want to just run away and hide. There's no fun in that. He wants to battle for it. He wants to win it, and he wants to feel like it's earned.
Well, absolutely, and he's going to drive the wheels off. But how about the run for Brian Mercurio, the 44 car? And that will bring me into another part of the conversation here, Todd. We got to talk about this is the second race of the FTF Jones Cup Series playoffs, and we've talked about Taylor Morgan's having a point lead here. Oh, I said Jones Cup, and I just, all right, dollar in the jar. My fault. I looked at the wall. I saw Jones. Todd, I'm guilty too. But Brian Mercurio, one of these guys, championship eligible, he currently comes into the standings. He's third in the points, 14 playoff points he's earned here this season, gets him up to the third spot. Taylor Morgan's has already clinched his way into, the next round here in a couple of weeks when we get there. But McAdams currently second in the standings. Brian Mercurio third. Corey Carpenter fourth, 28 points to the good. Chris Wetz to 71. Haven't talked a lot about that 71 car currently running outside the top 10, I believe, is Chris Wetz's 71 machine, currently running 15th. But he is fifth in the standings. Tyler Heads, number 64, is sixth. Brandon Lawson, seventh in the standings. Cosmin Yonoshu is currently eighth. Justin Malello, ninth. This is where it gets dicey here. 10th in the standings, we find Kyle Riley. He has a 4-point buffer over that cut line. We find Jake Poulin, who is next, 11th in the standings, and Nick Baker. Both of them guys are tied. They have a 1-point advantage over guys like Jordan Buster, like Ryan Araki, like Zach Buchanan there, and the number 19 that make up, these guys making up this playoff bracket there, Todd. So a lot to look on here. Arnold Columbia, also one of those guys in the playoffs as well. The number 39 has had to make my graphic a little bigger to see that other car, but it is Arnold Columbia's 39 who had a tough run here last week. But, 16 drivers, Todd, all represented by that different day-glow-looking Verizon red on the spoiler. So they're easy to pick out, and we'll do our very best to highlight where all these guys run all evening long. But Brian Mercurio, he started the standings doing everything he's got to do just right with 17 laps remaining here in Stage 1 at Richmond.
Yeah, just going through the field, Phil, as you were talking, just finding battles throughout the field, just surveying the field, letting everybody have their own little bit of limelight here, watching Arnold Columbia get around the number 8 of Jordan Buster here. And that's a battle for the 12th and 11th and 12th position. So put Arnold Columbia in front of Jordan Buster there for 12th, I should say. Cosmin in the 24, he's checked out on this little group that I thought he was going to fight with here. As Chris Wetz there in the number 71 machine starting to make a move here on Jordan Buster down to the bottom side. Again, that's a battle for the 13th spot, but Chris Wetz involved here in this championship hunt. I believe all these guys right here in this little gaggle of cars that we're seeing on the screen. These guys fighting tooth and nail. They want every point that they can get as we're on lap 35 of 200.
Yes, we are 35 of 200 laps starting to click away here. Mercurio and McAdams up front. That race for that third spot, Todd, it may have settled down. Brandon Hawken has broken his way free in the 25, but he is starting to make some headway on the 26 of Kevin McAdams. It was, a good, healthy little advantage between himself and 26. The 26 has fallen off that awesome pace that Mercurio was, run down on the 44 up to a 1.4 second lead this time by, but Brandon Hawkins starting to make some time. He may chase down Kevin McAdams and race to the second spot here. It's about a 5-car length advantage as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, they're heading towards turn number 3 here, and off of turn number 4, should say, with the number 25 of Brandon Hawkins chasing down Kevin McAdams slightly here last time by 1.422 is Kevin McAdams from Brian Mercurio, but then you got a 2.399 from Brandon Hawkins to Brian Mercurio. So you're looking at about a little under a second advantage for Kevin McAdams over Brandon Hawkins. Michael Fitch running in that 4th spot. 5th is the number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter, Taylor Morgan, Jonathan Taylor, Jake Poulin, Brandon Lawson, and Tyler Head. That's your top 10 right now. These guys pretty much spread out throughout the field here, Phil. You're seeing some guys, you're seeing the comers and goers, I'm going to say here. Those guys who want to get those points here for playoffs are trying to make their way up. They saved enough stuff here. So we're on lap 40. Like you said, our first playoff points are going to be awarded at lap 50 here for stage number 1. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to catch up here towards the middle of the pack and try to make some points up here. I know the 25 of Brandon Hawkins not in it for stage points here, particularly for the championship, but I know Kevin McAdams is, so he's trying to stay in front of Brandon Hawkins.
Yeah, and you talk about these guys trying to drive up through the field here and gain some playoff points. I found a really good battle for guys doing just that. I was in the car of the number 8 car of Jordan Buster, currently running back there about that 13th or 14th spot. He's got his hands full back there. He's got Kyle Riley's 43 car sliding around. Nick Gunther's 10 car. Chris Wetz is back there in the 71. Those are guys, as you said, trying to drive their car up through the latter part of the stage to chase down those critical playoff points. And for a guy like Jordan Buster, who right now sits outside the cutoff line as we head to the advancement after next week's race, Jordan Buster trying to drive that car forward, but now as he's stuck up to the high side of the racetrack, he's let now the 166 of Blake McCandless was inside. Blake trying to rebound from that earlier wreck there, but just looking back for these guys like Buster, like Kyle Riley, Arnold Columbia up to 12th, also another guy on the outside looking in. Even one playoff point there, Todd, they can get for one of these stages. You got to think that's huge here as we look toward road course racing next week, which will serve as an elimination race.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one there. Road course is not one of my favorite things to do. Probably not even one of my favorite things to broadcast, Phil. I'm not going to lie. It's hard for me to keep up with all the turns and what turn we're in, what gadgets we're in, what sand trap we're in. I mean, what tire barrier we're in. I spend a lot of time on top of the tire barriers and them sand traps around those road courses. But it's going to be interesting to see here for these FTF guys because these guys put on a whale of a show here, especially at road courses.
No, they really do, and I have a hard enough time figuring out between, two different sides of turns and two sides of the racetrack what end up on. Forget going out there with 12 to 15. That'll be an awful lot of fun back here 9 p.m. next Sunday evening. But I'm kind of going back to the field here, Todd. Found a really good race for a 9th spot. Cosman Ian Oshu's number 24 car. He just had a little bit of side swiping of I can't say side swiping, it's a little bit of term. They were hard racing. They were definitely bumping. There were 24 of Cosman, the 9 car of Brandon Lawson. A little bit of door checking. I think that's a little bit more polite of a politically correct term. A little bit of door banging there. Cosman putting him up to the 9th spot as he's, Cosman trying to race for all the playoff stage points he could possibly do. I believe 3 laps to go in the stage 1 here. Brian Mercurio, he is driving off in the sunset for these stage points. Almost a 2-second gap between himself and the 26 car of Kevin McAdams, who's currently second.
I've heard 3 different terms here this evening. Door checking. A lot of different terms there, Phil. 3 different terms here you've used here for door checking, side hitting, side door hitting, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm putting you out into like 5 different terms. But it's interesting to see that these guys are able to do that and keep it under control. As loose as these cars have been here over this long green flag run that we've had, Phil, these guys are able to rub, bang, put donuts on the side of the car and be able to keep it straight. It's one of those things that's very, very difficult for me, number one, to keep it straight. So I'm impressed with these guys. And we can just tell they're tail happy coming off those corners.
Yeah, they really are. And I believe stage white flag going to go up in the air here. I believe it's a stage white. I haven't got the word from a command at 50 laps on the board. I believe it's a stage white here. Brian Mercurio looks poised to bring home stage number 1 as he's working his way through turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Give Brian Mercurio, it looks like, the win in stage number 1 here as he works off turn 4. Race for second heating up there, Todd, between Brandon Hawkins' 25 car. Kevin McAdams is number 26 at the line. I think you can give that by just a scotch to Kevin McAdams. So that was a great race there. Hawkins going to finish stage 1 third. Taylor Morgan's 4th. Michael Frisch 5th. Corey Carpenter 6th. Jonathan Taylor 7th. Jake Poulin 8th. Cosby Ninoshu 9th, and Brandon Lawson round out the top 10. Those 10 drivers collect stage points here in stage number 1. So now we're into the 50-lap stage number 2. This isn't like NASCAR style, guys. We get through that stage race, there's no sissy caution flags. We're going to continue to race on through it. These guys are hot and heavy now, racing for that second and third spot as they hit the turn 3.
We have a green flag pit stops going on here. Cosman in that number 24 down on pit road. One of the first guys here in the top 10 here to come down pit road. Looks like he's going to take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. And the 44 also down on pit road. Your current race leader. 39 in Columbia down on pit road also. But the 24 down and away, Phil.
Yeah, Cosma's down and away as a couple of different drivers start to make their way toward pit road. I think I saw Arnold Columbia down there for 4 tires. Chris Wetz, number 71, in the sign for 4 tires. Let's see who else. Jordan Buster's number 8. As far as guys in the playoff scenario, we saw Cosman stop down there. Kyle Riley on pit road in the 43. His work, I think, down and complete and away. And also, I see the sign up for the 53 car of Justin Malello. So it looks like he may be on his way. Here he is. Let's see if we can't talk about that Sprint number 53 Chevrolet FedEx ground for Justin Malello. Right side tires up in the air on the 53. That work is done. They'll swing over to the left side tires. 4 tires for Justin Malello on this end of pit road. His work a little bit slow on the left rear. 53 car down and away. Also looking on this end of pit road there, Todd, we got some of our race leaders getting ready to, believe I just saw, was that a 36 car may have flashed by. Taylor Morgan's our point leader, Todd. He's found his way to pit road.
Yeah, those guys all down on pit road. They're down and away already, completing their service. The 36 Taylor Morgan's, the 26 machine of Kevin McAdams. Looks like yellow flag going to fly. It's going to slow these guys down a little bit there, Phil. It's got to give a shout out to the chat box. It's been rather active in the house. David Schildhouse, HB Hardy out there. There's a couple of Brad, Mark. I'm just trying to look real quick to see who's out there. Hello here from Full Velocity TV. Glad you guys could join us. A lot of other guys out there. Say hello. Say whatever you want to in that chat box. With good reason out there in that chat box, I'm going to say. But say hello. How are you guys enjoying the racing? Who's going to win this race here tonight? We're going to do those picks a little bit later, but you guys got to have a favorite out there, so let us know who it is.
Well, I want to hear the favorite there, too, Todd, as we're under caution flag for the 3rd time this evening at the Z200 at the Richmond International Raceway. Looks like caution flag on the speedway for the 10 car of Nick Gunther. I'm really sure there was a camera view to go back and look at that on there, Todd. And if you see one, by all means jump in. But I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you say don't have anything to show. So we'll keep it right here. Right on the racetrack here live on Full Velocity TV. For guys out there that may be watching right now, it is Salute to Service Week 4 at FETV. We've teamed up with our friends over at TDR Racing. We're hoping to team up with every one of you guys out there. We are raising money for the Wounded Warrior Project out here this week along with those guys, and we invite all leagues from all over the simulation of NR 2003, iRacing, or all over the online racing world. Head over to our Facebook page, Full Velocity TV. Fundraiser is posted there for the Wounded Warrior Project. All donations are all 100% going to go to our Wounded Warriors. We'd appreciate all donations to come in. Join our team by doing that right now. That'd be great of you. And even better, go out there and share that link, guys, to all your leagues, all your family and friends, any sim racer, or maybe not even sim racer out there. Show awareness now. Let's come together as an entire online sim racing community, regardless of what simulation you prefer to play. And we'd love to have you guys all involved. As part of our Salute to Service Week, we had a great Salute to Heroes race on our airwaves last night, which is a really good time. That was won by Blake McCandless. We're here this week here tonight with FTF Racing with a Z200. Back tomorrow night, a full night for us of Full Velocity TV. We are going to have a practice session from the Eldora Speedway back over in iRacing. October 1st, we are doing the Jerry Summerlin Memorial Race. Our old buddy Tyler Summerlin, his father Jerry passing away here a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have practice tomorrow night, headlined by another Salute to Heroes race tomorrow night for the TDR Open Pro Late Model Series. But that's going to be awesome here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern for that race. Championship night for the TDR RTZ Open Pro Late Model Series. Tuesday night, we're going to go over for championship night over at the American Short Track Association. ASTA's got 3 feature events lined up here Tuesday night. We'll have flag to flag. Wednesday night, we're back at Dirt Warrior Racing for some Wednesday night street fights. That'll be a great time. If you haven't seen what we're doing on Wednesday nights, guys, tune in. Those races have been good. Is that not enough for you? Well, Thursday night, we're going back over to SATA. Not only we crown 3 champions on Tuesday, we're going to crown 3 more on Thursday night as well. The 305 sprint cars, the SK Modifieds, a part of the racing action on tap. Friday night, we get to take a day off because by then we're going to have to collect ourselves. Saturday night, we're back here for the big Wounded Warrior Project 140 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That will be our big fundraiser night. And then next Sunday night, back here with the FTF Horizon Cup Series, or playoff race number 3 up on the road course. But we're here at Richmond here tonight, Todd. We'll have to see where these guys jockey in a position as far as where the playoff scenarios go out to. As we're back to green flag racing, Corey Carpenter is our new race leader as they head to turn 3.
Yeah, Corey Carpenter, the number 9 of Brandon Lawson, almost sliding up the track there into the 37 machine of Ryan Naraki. Naraki right now running in second. The 9 of Brandon Lawson running third. Fourth is Tyler Head in that number 64 machine, one of the ones I commented on last week. The number 71 of Chris Wetz running in that 5th spot, now diving down to the bottom at the same time as blocked move there by the number 64 of Tyler Head. Wetz did not quite have the run that he wanted. Side-by-side battle for that 2nd spot. Number 9 of Brandon Lawson down to the bottom side of Ryan Naraki. They're still side-by-side through the corner, but give it to Brandon Lawson off the corner down the back straightaway.
Yeah, great move there by the 9 of Brandon Lawson. Going to put him up to the 2nd spot, opening up that inside lane. That's allowed Tyler Head's number 64. He'll sneak on by Ryan Naraki. Have not talked a lot about that 64 tonight here, Todd, but Tyler Head having a good run now up to the 3rd spot. Naraki back to 4th, and look to the high side. Here comes that Dorito Chevrolet of Kevin McAdams. Bold move up along the high side. Guesses its teammate there, the 37 of Ryan Naraki, but Kevin McAdams, he's back up to the 4th spot as they hit turn 4.
Yeah, McAdams making some moves up on the top shelf of the Speedway in that number 26 machine, and he's making it work there. Interesting to see him, how fast he came up through the field. A little bit different of a situation that went on out there. The guys they were all a lap down. There was only 5 of them left on the lead lap. They stayed out. The rest of the guys had to come down pit road and take 4 fresh tires. These guys had to drive around. So these guys were already 1 lap down. They stayed out. They didn't pit. Obviously, they just got done pitting on the Speedway, but these guys now making some headway up through the field here. There's a nice battle going on between the number 64 Tyler Head and Chris Wetz in that number 71 machine. That's a battle for the 5th and 4th position, as now the 64 pulls right up to the rear bumper. Kevin McAdams not able to do anything here, coming down the front straightaway into turn number 1.
And nothing going on there. It's the turn number 1, but I'm just looking at, we talked about Richmond earlier. These guys made me eat my words as, kind of a 1.5 groove racetrack. Well, Ryan Naraki on the inside, we just had a train of cars go by him up there. We saw Mercurio go by, Chris Wetz, McAdams, Tyler Head, all those guys that made their way on the outside. And now Taylor Morgan's car number 36, that Reese's machine up in the top shelf. He's making something happen. Here comes the 01 GoDaddy machine of Michael Frisch to the outside. So that Dollar Tree machine, well, looks like those tires may have come from a Dollar Tree. Ryan Naraki going nowhere on that inside lane there, Todd. He was up to 3rd on the restart. Well, he made free fall all the way back on the outside of the top 10, and that's car on the inside lane. That's very confusing to see here at Richmond.
Yeah, they're trying to get around the 37 of Ryan Naraki, and I wouldn't hit on that Dollar Tree. I tell you can buy a lot of great things at Dollar Tree. I'm a cheap buyer for household stuff, and Dollar Tree's got some good stuff out there, but 37 of Ryan Naraki just slipping back through the field, and number 1 now battling with him. That's a position here. I believe that's going to be for the 11th spot, is the number 1 of Jonathan Taylor wants it here. Ryan Naraki not going away on the outside, though. Able to battle back off the corner here down the back straightaway. The 37 machine of Naraki not going away. The 1 of Jonathan Taylor finally going to be able to slide up here in front of him. Can Naraki get back down to the bottom before the 67 pounces? Nope. The answer is no. Coming down the front straightaway, here comes the number 67 machine of Jake Poulin down to the bottom side.
Yeah, Jake Poulin's going to bring his forward down to the inside of Ryan Naraki. Those guys racing tooth and nail for a spot, just outside the top 10. Naraki able to hold that spot from the top lane. He's going to slam the door shut on Jake Poulin. So maybe Ryan Naraki's number 37 Dollar Tree machine, maybe he can stop the bleeding as he's found himself back to a single file formation. Ryan Naraki's had a couple of tough laps here. Is now a spin off at turn number 2. 1 car loose and almost is going around in front of the field. He's parked down to the low side. So far, I don't hear caution flag, so we may stay clean and green there, but 1 car definitely out of shape down the backstretch. Not sure if you get a better look at that than I did, Todd.
Yeah, it looks to be the number 26 of Kevin McAdams. He's fallen all the way back behind the 166 machine of Blake McCandless. That's 19th position. So he did a loop-de-loop, and he got back going as fast as he could, but that had to damage his tires. Now back down to the inside of the 166 of Blake McCandless. Do not believe the yellow flag has came out because he was all by his lonesome, was able to right it into the right direction there in that number 26 machine, but got to have some damaged tires on the number 26 now, Phil.
Yeah, and he's a guy that I think earlier, in the night said, I got to figure out how to make my tires safe here at Richmond if I want to be there at the end, and that is certainly not a way to do it. You spin those things around in the wrong direction. You got to think those things may be a tad bit hot, and we'll have to monitor the progress of exactly, how that 26 car does coming on forward. He, as you said, he is slid all the way back now to the 18th position, racing along with Blake McCandless. But back up front, it is still a story of Corey Carpenter's car number 30 up in the front. Brandon Lawson, a 9 car, currently running in that second spot. Third, we find Tyler Head. Brian Mercurio is fourth, and Chris Wetz rounds out our top 5. 6 through 10, we find Taylor Morgan 6th, Michael Frisch 7th, Brandon Hawk in 8th, Jonathan Taylor 9th, and Ryan Naraki's 37 car currently running in the top 10. 11th is Jake Poulin 67 machine. Cosme Inoshu, he is 12th. Arnold Columbia is rebounded up to 13th. Justin Malello 14th. And Kyle Riley sits on the lead lap, currently in the 15th spot in the 43. Nick Baker is currently 16th in the 79. Blake McCandless 17th. Kevin McAdams 26 is back in 18th. Jordan Buster is 19th. And Zach Buchanan rounding out our top 20 in car number 19. 21st, the 3 car of Steve Rada. He is the last driver on the lead lap. 22nd, we find Nick Gunther, number 10. He is 1 lap down to the field. 3 cars behind the wall. Looks like their nights are going to be done. Those include the 47 car of Sonny Tallman, the 23 of Jeffrey McClintock, and the number 00 of Zachary Stoltz. Zachary, the sponsor here tonight of the Z200 here at Richmond. 200 great laps. We are 78 laps into this awesome 200 lap event. Special thanks to all these guys over at FTF for allowing us to come over and have some fun for all 10 races of this playoff here. We're going to crown a champion about 9 weeks from tonight, Todd, but we're here at Richmond for the second race of the playoffs, and Corey Carpenter, as we have seen so many times before over the years on our airwaves, he paces the field at Richmond as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, Brandon Lawson starting to reel him in, though, just a little bit down to 0.400 for that number 9 machine. So Lawson starting to reel Carpenter in. Down the back straightaway here to turn number 3. It's down to about 2.5 car lengths here off of turn number 4. So Lawson is indeed reeling in your current race leader, the number 30, Corey Carpenter. Even down the front straightaway, you can see it here live on our screen as we're on lap 79 here of 200. And just can't wait to see what's going to happen here, Phil, as it looks like implications going to rise here. The blood pressure is going to rise. This is short track racing at its finest. I do believe, though, these guys have raced around each other long enough that they're not going to slam each other. But Brandon Lawson looking for every point he can, along with Corey Carpenter, trying to get those valuable playoff points. As you watch Mercurio, he moved silently up into that 3rd spot there, Phil.
Yeah, he brought his number 44 forward to the inside of Tyler Head's number 64. Brian Mercurio, our pole sitter here earlier tonight, guy coming in 3rd in the standings, led most of these laps to stage number 1. Brian Mercurio, our stage 1 winner, now up to a 3rd spot. Tyler Head going to be shoved back to that 5th position as he's opened the door. Taylor Morgan's the 36, Todd. We talk about a guy silently making his way back to the front of the field. Taylor Morgan's up to P4. I don't think he can, stay silent for much longer as we're starting to approach the halfway mark. That 36 car is on the march, and Brian Mercurio, he may be just a couple of precious seconds from that 36 car pouncing to the inside.
He's definitely doing what he said he was going to do last week, Phil, when we interviewed him down in Victory Lane. He is making his way towards the front here and taking his time here. Taylor Morgan's no slouch here at Richmond, and he's able to get up alongside Mercurio, who was setting the fastest paces of the race here early on in the going. But look at Taylor Morgan's. I mean, he's got this track kind of figured out here. The number 36 machine, he figured it was go time. He wants to get more points here. Like you said, it's 50-50, so it'll be 100 laps. So at 100 laps, we're going to have stage 2 completion, I do believe is what you said there, Phil. But Mercurio back down to the bottom side as the Taylor Morgan's got around him, but here comes the 44 Mercurio back down to the bottom.
Mercurio not going to go away. Him and Taylor Morgan's going to have a spirited race, and I think we're going to see that over the next couple of weeks as You know, Taylor's got a lot of good championship contenders here knocking on his doors and wanting to dethrone the 2017 season champion. Brian Mercurio's very game to the challenge. You know, Brandon Lawson's going to be really game to that challenge as well. We've seen him win championships before. And how about the 30 car? That Sunoco Chevrolet, Corey Carpenter pacing this field. No surprise to me or anybody out there who follows FTF to see the 30 car up front. To highlight some of the good racing going on there, Todd, the 71 car of Chris Wetz, a guy who's always known for the dramatic here on Full Velocity TV of maybe scoring a late win to advance him into the next round of the playoffs. The 71 car, he has marched his way kind of quietly. Chris Wetz up in the top 5 of that 71 machine, having a good run with himself in the 64 of Tyler Head off of turn 2.
Man, as I cringed as these guys, I thought they were going to go 3 wide as Brandon Hawken looked like he was going to make that 3 wide. Tyler Head was able to complete the pass here and be able to stay in front of the 71 of Wetz. As Wetz is now back down to the bottom now. Instead of trying to use the top side, he's trying to make some headway on the bottom. And the number 71 machine side-by-side battle here going down into turn number 1. Wetz has a one whale of a run there, but it doesn't seem to be working off the corner. He gets a little bit tail happy coming off of 2 down the back straightaway here into turn number 3. Number 64 running about the middle groove. Tyler Head having a good run, able to block up that bottom line just enough to kill the run and kill the momentum of Chris Wetz in that 71, but he's back down to the bottom again here in turn 1. Can he make it stick? That's going to be what's going to happen. Is contact made there. The 71 of Wetz made contact with Head. Those guys able to keep it going, but boy, I thought that was going to be worse than it was there, Phil. There was some nice contact made, but those guys, great save.
Yeah, that shows the quality of drivers, guys. And you want a top-notch league that is a. I've watched a lot of leagues. I watch all the leagues out there I can get a hold of. Watch streams often. I can't find a more competitive league with guys that are just up on the wheel driving any harder than you can find out here at FTF. And I know there's a lot of great leagues out there, and we'd like to cover them all. And, you know, if you guys got anything to showcase to compete with these guys, we would love to do it because great racing gets all of us excited. But, yeah, there was contact between Tyler Head and that 71 of Chris Wetz. It kind of checked up a 25 car of Brandon Hawken, Todd, who I thought was the faster car of that 3 cars in the stretch. And now with that clean racetrack, those guys single file, I think you can kind of see that now because that AARP drive to end hunger number 25 of Brandon Hawken, he's to the inside of Chris Wetz. That's a good battle for the 6th spot as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, the 25 of Hawken down on the bottom side-by-side battle between the 71 of Wetz and Hawken here as now he falls back in the line. Hawken trying to use kind of a slingshot here at Richmond. Not able to pull off that pass on the 71. Now falls back into the clutches of the 0-1 of Michael Frisch in the 0-1 machine, trying to be able to get around the 25, like I said. But Hawken able to keep him at bay here. Single file. Hawken all kinds of sideways off of turn number 2. Is now down into 3. Is now challenges starting to mount up for the 64 Tyler Head once again as Chris Wetz goes back on the assault.
Yeah, but Todd, as we were covering that battle, we have missed a good battle up there for the race lead between the 30 of Carpenter. He has surrendered the lead to the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. They've encountered a lap car. They made contact on the backstretch. 30 car hard off the outside wall. Looked like that may have collected himself up. Believe that was an all lap car there. That's allowed the 36 of Taylor Morgans to go by. I'm sure some bent up feelings there as they just ran out of racetrack. 30 of Corey Carpenter, he's got some heavy damage to the right side of the 30. He was the race lead. Well, he not only surrendered the lead to Brandon Lawson, then he had some, encounters with some lap traffic, and now the 30 car is dropped back to that 3rd spot. Tough break for that 30 car.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. He's towards the end of the stage here, Phil, as the 36 Taylor Morgan starting to make his way up towards the front here. Now in 2nd, obviously. Now going to be able to battle with the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. This is the furthest he's been up front all evening long, and he's starting to rise to the occasion here at Richmond. That number 36 machine now cutting that lead between himself and Lawson down to .435. Let's see what's going to happen this time by. We're just waiting to see the scoring time and the reset, but I can just tell you on the screen, it's about a half a car length here. It's .327 between the 36 of Morgans and the number 9 of Lawson.
Yeah, you can describe that battle there in numbers as you just did, but it's right there, plain and flat on your screen. That 36 car of Taylor Morgans, he is there, and within 2 car lengths of that number 9 car of Brandon Lawson. Can Taylor do it again there, Todd? The point leader, the sweep last week of all 3 stages, the race winner. You know, Mercurio picked up the win here in stage number 1. Well, those guys have all come toward pit road, and we'll do that highlight here in a second as we're running out of laps here in the stage. As I say, that 36 car of Taylor Morgan's peels off, so maybe not thinking as much as these stage points there, Todd. These guys just maybe sheer out of tires at stage 2 to go. The 36 car pitting out of the runner-up spot. Kind of really befuddled what's going on.
Yeah, it's rather interesting to see Taylor Morgan's come down onto pit road, maybe for a little bit different of a run for that number 36 machine. I'm not sure what's going on with Taylor or why he came down on pit road, but I believe at lap 100 it was the end of the stage number 2, Phil, unless you can see something different. But I believe that's what they said here early on in the going, so not sure. Maybe setting himself up for the longer run, maybe looking at the big picture to try to win this race here this evening.
Yeah, it's got me scratching my head, and I would love to go down there and, you know, see what those guys are thinking, if those guys are short on tires or what the thought was there. But, yeah, stage number 2 took the checkered flag, and Brandon Lawson took the stage points there for the second stage. I believe Corey Carpenter second, Tyler Head third, Chris Wetz fourth, Ryan Naraki fifth, Nick Baker picking up some precious playoff points back there, sixth, Blake McCandless seventh. I think Justin Malone unofficially was 8th, Jake Poole in 9th, and I think Brian Mercurio, he may have rebounded for the top 10 unofficially in the stage. Trying to do that on the fly is kind of tough there, but you saw these guys peeling on and off pit road, and looks like, Todd, some of the more of the leaders have come on. I see Chris Wetz is in. I believe Carpenter's number 30 car is currently in. Let's see what the 4 tires stop for that 30 car. Really quick there. Sunoco Chevrolet down and away. Chris Wetz is done in the 71 as well. Now we're awaiting that number 9 car, the DC Solo car, Brandon Lawson. He's eventually going to make his way down there for 4 tires, which I think he just now exiting his pit stall as I run down here. Brandon Lawson's work is down and away. He'll lose the race to that 30 car off a pit road.
Yeah, we were down in the pit stall here of the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. Looks like maybe a little bit of damage had to be fixed on that number 9. Losing a position here to the 30 on the track of Corey Carpenter. And we were thinking, Phil, I was thinking just a little bit about Taylor Morgan's and what he said. He was going to try to pick up some stage points. He has a lot of stage points. And like you said, he's looking at the bigger picture. Then I look down the chat box, and I'm going to have to agree with David Schulthouse down there. It is a great point down there that he has nothing to lose. He really doesn't. He's already in the next round. He can gamble for the longer run. He's out there for just the W.
Yeah, and I saw that chime in. Thank you, Mr. Schulthouse, for that. That is insight from the champ, the 2016 series champ. And I guess thinking like that is how you win championships. That is an awesome point there, David. Nothing to lose for that 36 car, Taylor Morgan's. I was really confused. Why would you give up stage points to, you know, to the stage white flag? But you said he's got the win. He's advanced in. There is really nothing to lose, and I think that's what we're seeing here. But I believe we have completed the cycle of green flag pit stops and recycling back through. Well, the 44 car, Brian Mercurio, is our current race leader. Cosmin Iodoshu's currently second. Michael Frisch is third. Jonathan Taylor fourth. Jake Poulin makes up your top 5. Taylor Morgan's is 6th, Brandon Hawkins 7th, Arnold Columbia 8th, Kyle Riley 9th, and Kevin McAdams has rebounded from that spin, Todd, back up to the top 10. I think we have gotten through the complete round of green flag pit stops. I almost want to go back there and recheck, but I think these guys who may have pitted early, those are the guys that have gained all this track position up front, and I'm going to have to go back and confirm some of that, because if they did, that's some great strategy by every one of those guys.
Yeah, Mercurio in the 44, the 01 of Michael Fritz in the 24, Cosmin, Jonathan Taylor, and Jake Poulin. Those guys pitted a little earlier than the rest of the field here, so they're maintaining the top 5. Taylor Morgan's one of the guys that did not pit as early as these guys, but he's got the fresh Goodyear Eagles, the fresh goodies, I should say, on his machine, so he's able to come up through. I'm going to say Taylor Morgan's going to pit out of the lead there earlier, though, but not quite as early as these guys. And it's interesting to see how this is going to all play out. There's different strategies. Mercurio on a different strategy. You got Morgan's on a different strategy. You got Hawkins. You got McAdams on different strategies. Carpenter and Lawson. Carpenter and Lawson, who were leading this event here, were 1-3. They're 11th and 12th now. So, like I said, different strategies here at Richmond. It's going to make for an interesting race as it develops towards the end here, Phil.
Yo, absolutely. And watching a good race going on for the 4 spot. Taylor Morgan's coming to the inside of the 1 car of Jonathan Taylor. Taylor Morgan starting to creep back up through the field there. He's right there, and I believe that's Cosman's 24 car up ahead. A twofer move there. The 36, a twofer off of turn 2, Todd, for the 5th spot. Taylor Morgan's now looks like up to 3rd. Him and Cosman make contact as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, Cosman able to save it there in the number 24 machine. Great hands by the number 24. Taylor Morgan's pulling that twofer deal there in that number 36 machine. Able to get himself up to that 3rd spot. Now going to be able to set sail for that 0-1 machine. But meanwhile, Cosman battling with the number 1 of Jonathan Taylor. They were side by side momentarily off of 2 down the back straightaway here into turn number 3. Cosman lets out of it. The 1 of Jonathan Taylor still maintains that 4th spot. So Cosman's going to be 5th. Brandon Hawken running about half a second behind these guys. Liking to see the battling because he's able to reel these guys in just a little bit more in that number 25 machine.
Yeah, Brandon Hawken looking down low on the 24 of Cosman Inoshu. Brandon trying to find all the running room he can. Didn't find it there as the door closed off for turn 2. Looks like he may have overshot the corner into turn 3. Maybe just setting him up. That is good racing going on there, Todd, for just a battle for the back part of the top 5. That is a race for 5th. Here comes the 25 of Hawken. He's to the inside of Cosman. Give the 25 the spot as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, Cosman may have wore his tires up just a little bit there, that number 24 machine. Brandon Hawken was able to wait there, pounce when he needed it, and it was able to pick up the 5th position there from Cosman. And then number 25, now he sets his sights on the number 1 of Jonathan Taylor. Pulls right up to his rear bumper here in that number 25 machine, coming off of turn number 2 down the back chute. Here, the number 1 just leading him here into turn 3. But you can see Brandon Hawken able to roll down on the bottom just a little bit better in that number 25 machine. That's what happens when you have newer tires. The number 1 of Jonathan Taylor just up the track. He's going to let the 25, I believe, go with ease here. He's going to fight back just a little bit as Hawken gets a little bit loose coming off of turn number 2. But Hawken side by side with the number 1 of Jonathan Taylor here. Taylor not giving up on the outside, but he's giving him plenty of room to try to work his way around it without wrecking both of those cars. So Brandon Hawken has a preferred line down here into turn number 1. He's going to be able to secure position number 4.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But Todd, I've been looking up there. We covered that battle. A battle for 2nd. Kind of was really short-lived. Taylor Morgan's not only ran down the 0-1 GoDaddy Ford of Michael Frisch, but Taylor Morgan's able to make that pass, put the 36 car now up to that 2nd spot. It may be a time to panic for that number 44 car of Brian Mercurio. Brian was the fastest car in all of Richmond here tonight. Sat on the pole, led most of the stage 1, picked up the win in stage number 1. You know, pitted a little bit early here, short pitted, giving up the stage win here. Maybe some more stage points in stage 2, but short pitting, Todd, really is paid off. Brian Mercurio is 118 laps of 200 in the event. 44 car back to that familiar position up front, but Taylor Morgan's this last time around chopped off 0.3 of a second, and you can see on the screen it's going to be well under 1 second as they exit turn 4 back to the start-finish line.
Great points here for everybody out there, just everybody that's in the YouTube chat box. We've been listening to you guys out there and watching these guys race it here, Phil. And the 44 of Brian Mercurio has been the fastest car all evening long. That's no pressure. There's no doubt here for that number 44 machine. He's leading probably the most laps here. But it seems like the 36 of Taylor Morgan's coming on stronger and stronger and stronger as the race comes to a head here. The 36 of Taylor Morgan's right now starting to run down the 44 of Mercurio. Mercurio off sequence to the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. So we're going to have to see how this is going to play out. Mercurio can lead as many laps as he wants, but he's got to lead that most important lap, and that's the last lap.
And absolutely, that's still 80 laps remaining here to the Z200 at the Richmond International Raceway. Thanks to all you guys that have out there YouTube Live here tonight for some Full Velocity TV for FTF's Verizon Cup Series, the 2018 playoffs here, race number 2. Thrilled to have this up on the airways for Full Velocity TV here tonight. Hope you guys are all enjoying the show just as much as we are bringing it here to you. It is Salute the Service week for us on Full Velocity TV, and we are thrilled you have all checked in. If you would like to be a part of the great racing on FETV, and why wouldn't you be? This is a great time. If your league's got racing just like this you'd like to highlight, get a hold of us. Full Velocity TV on Facebook. We have a page and a group. Also, drop us an old-fashioned email, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. We would love to come over and showcase your great league, just like we're doing here at FTF here tonight, Todd. And as we eclipse lap 122, a new race leader has emerged. Taylor Morgan's not only ran down that 44 car, it was a short-lived battle. Taylor Morgan's, I believe, for the first time this evening, he's up to the race lead here at Richmond.
Indeed, it is the first time of the evening for the race lead for that 36 fast break machine there of Taylor Morgan's, as he's now able to set any pace that he wants to, being the current race leader. So he's able to pull away just about 5 to 6 car lengths over Mercurio in that number 44 machine. Michael Frisk in the 01 running third. Brandon Hawkins, Jonathan Taylor, Cosman, Corey Carpenter, Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams, and Tyler Head. That is your top 10 right now. 11th through 15th is Jake Poulin, Ryan Naraki, Blake McCandless, Jordan Buster, and Nick Baker rounds out the top 15. Last car on the lead lap. That's 16 cars on the lead lap here total tonight, Phil, is Zach Buchanan in that number 19 machine. Guys are lapped down. Important contenders here. Chris Wetz, the 71, he's 1 lap down. Justin Malello, 1 lap down. Nick Gunther is 1 lap down. Even Arnold Columbia is down 2 laps. Steve Radd is down 2 laps. Those guys, that's the 21 cars that I have on the field, Phil. I know there's some more back there. Those are all I can see here on the screen. But I know that some of those guys are like Chris Wetz or Justin Malello. They don't want to be a 1 lap down.
No, they really don't want to be, and, you know, you can see it here tonight, Todd. Only slowed by, I believe, 3 caution flags. It's really been a very clean race here at Richmond. These guys have really, and as they've been all year long, the 2018 Verizon Cup Series at FTF, it has been a tremendous season. I have followed this league for many years. I tried my hand earlier in the season, and I just don't got what it takes. But a lot of these guys do. For all you guys out there, you want to try a top-notch league, check out the guys at FTF Racing. An awesome group. They do things cutting edge, like unlike any league I can find out there that do things that, I mean, it's just so cool what these guys do. The racing is superb. The administration is great. Justin, Kevin, all the group over here. Always a good time on a Sunday night to come over and look these guys up. Come be a part of the action now. I don't care where you're coming from, guys. Come over here and be a part of the works, and you will be guaranteed a great time. As next time around, Todd, 130 laps up on the board. We talked about Taylor Morgan's, and our buddy David Sheldhouse said it. Taylor seems to be holding a more consistent pace over the long course of this race, and it's showing up now. We saw him not only run down Brian Mercurio by about 4 seconds, well, now he's extended that lead to well over 1 second. And now as we hit 130 laps, Taylor Morgan's looks like driving off in the distance. What do you think, though? These guys probably have, and I'll ask the chat box this for guys who have won races and know a whole lot better than I do. Do these guys have just 1 more pit stop to make their Todd? Is this thing a 1-stop race from here for these guys to see all the way to the checkered flag?
You know, and I'm almost thinking that maybe there is 1 more pit stop here, and I'm thinking that's why you've seen Taylor Morgan's come down at right around lap 100 here in that 36 machine. He's going to try to stretch it as far as he can. Just remember, guys like Brandon Lawson and Corey Carpenter, those guys pitted probably about 10 laps later than the 36 machine of Taylor Morgan. So those guys still running pretty decent lap times. But as they come towards the front, battling with lap traffic, battling with the cars that are in front of them, they might be ice skating around the track here. Those guys are losing that quality grip on their tires. So by the time they get to Taylor Morgan's, I think they're going to be out of grip and maybe not be able to challenge for the lead. We'll see here. As the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, I believe, is due for a pit stop. But I see Blake McCandless around down there on the bottom. That's not like Blake McCandless to be down there just sitting there. I guess he's seen something interesting down there. That's going to bring out yellow flag. That's going to change the complexion of this race here, Phil. As we were starting to see a lot of green flag laps, thought this was going to end in a green flag, but yellow flag coming out, I believe, for the 166 machine of Blake McCandless.
Yeah, it looks like that number 166 car spun around in the wrong direction, and that's going to put us on our caution flag for the 4th time tonight. And I think the complexion of this race there, Todd, has just turned completely upside down. I was wondering if these guys could make it on just 1 more pit stop. I figured they at least had to make 1. I was wondering if they'd have to at least just make 1 from here. Was this going to be a 2-stop strategy? That's going to throw all out the window. I think it's going to be at least 1 more from here. I want to ask the guys in the chat box if they agree that these guys can come in and stop now, and can they make it from here? Can they not make it, as we got 135 laps on the board, right in the middle of what will look like was going to be maybe on the cusp of all around the green flag pit stops or under caution. But Todd, I'm going to throw it down to you. I think you may have a replay queued up. What happened to Blake McCandless's?
As we're covering pit stops here, Phil, we thought this was rather important here. Blake McCandless around by his lonesome there in the 166. We figured that this was a little more important here, seeing these pit stops, seeing what these guys are going to do here, because I do believe that these guys are going to take one more pit stop after this. But who would take 4 tires on this call here? I think what I would do, Phil, and this is me, I'm going to ask YouTube chat box, what would you guys do out there? I'm going to split this run in half. I'm going to split it in half and try to go from there. Maybe even a 2-tire strategy there. But, I mean, I guess you could split it in half and have those fresh Goodyear Eagles. And hopefully no yellow flag will come out. You finish this under green, and that's where it's going to be. I believe I would split this run in half.
I like the strategy, and I kind of want to ask the chat box the same thing, because I really think these guys do have to stop one more time. And you know, if we got time here under caution, I would ask one of these guys, but I don't want to screw up their race, especially on a short track. I do not like to yank guys out of other realm of a conversation. Maybe at a bigger racetrack, 1.5 miles or bigger, we would do certainly that, but we're not going to let these guys break their rhythm and see what's going on. But yeah, if we got to make one more stop there, Todd, I agree with probably about 61 laps left on a restart. Yeah, I'd absolutely run it hard for about 30 laps. Duck it on in, put 4 tires on it, and go back at it for another 30. And may not be the money strategy. I've never had them, but, you know, I haven't had them in a long time. I know you've won a lot more races than I have, Todd, but I like that play it in half strategy. What do you guys think out there in YouTube chat? You guys have been alive all night long. The viewership has been fantastic. The chat box has been electric. We thank you for that. What do you guys think? One more stop. Do you split it in half? Do you short pit? Do you run it dry? Do you risk a caution flag late? What do you guys think, YouTube chat box? Let's see it. And Todd, we're coming to 1 to go here, so we'll reset the field. We get ready for a restart.
Yeah, resetting the field. It's going to be Taylor Morgans, Brian Mercurio, Brandon Hawkin, Corey Carpenter, Brandon Lawson, Michael Fritz. And then number 01 machine, Tyler Head, Jonathan Taylor, Ryan Naraki, Nick Baker, Jordan Buster, Chris Wetz, Nick Gunther, Kyle O'Reilly, and Arnold Columbia, all on the tail end of the lead lap. I believe they're all going to get waiver rounds. So that's going to leave 15 cars left on the lead lap here as we get ready to get this green flag here. The drivers have entered the back straightaway. 1 lap down, Justin Malello, Blake McCandless, Jake Poulin, Cosman, and Steve Raddat, and Kevin McAdams 2 laps down. That's weird for Kevin McAdams. But we're waiting for the green flag to fly here, waiting for the 36 fast brake machine to take off up through that gearbox here. We're in turn number 4. We're waiting for that little bit of restart zone, that Monster Energy restart zone. We're in it. Green flag's in the air. Loud pedal is down the front straightaway. The 36 of Taylor Morgans leads the charge down into turn number 1.
And Taylor Morgan's going to take the spot away from Brian Mercurio there. Good race going on there. Race for 3rd between Corey Carpenter, Brandon Hawkin. That's been short-lived there. Now the race for the 4th spot. Brandon Lawson's number 9. He's to the inside of a 25. That's good side-by-side racing for the 4th spot. Put Brandon Lawson up to 4th. Here comes Hawkin. He'll fight back on the outside. Who's there going to be? A battle of Brandons as they hit turn 1.
The Brandon and Brandon show. Lawson on the bottom in that number 9 DC Solar sponsor machine. The 25 of Brandon Hawkin up on the top shelf of the speedway. Still side by side through turn number 3. Michael Fritz don't know which way to go here in that 01 machine. He doesn't know whether to go with Brandon Hawkin or Brandon Lawson. He's looking back and forth. These guys aren't given an itch here. Is fantastic racing here for that 4th spot. Still side by side off the corner, Phil.
Yeah, and it looks like the 25 may win the battle when a turn number 3 slam the door shut on the 9 car. That's allowed Michael Frisch in the 01. He's going to drive up alongside the 9 car of Brandon Lawson. A little bit of contact there. It's going to slow the run of the 9 down. Move Michael Frisch having a hell of a run out here tonight. The 01 car now up to a top 5 as they exit turn 2.
Number 1 now dives down to the bottom. Door banging down the back straight away. The 1 and the number 9. The 1 being driven by Jonathan Taylor, trying to make some headways. He forced it down in the inside of the number 9 of Brandon Lawson. Side by side battle down the front straight away here into turn number 1. Again, almost slight contact there between the 1 and the number 9 machine. The 1 trying to slide up has no room there, has to back out. The number 9 of Brandon Lawson fights back on the outside.
Now, the number 9, giving it a game run in the outside lane. Jonathan Taylor's Ford down to the inside, that 5th-3rd bank machine. He is giving all he can do in that Ford tonight. Jonathan having a tremendous run here at Richmond. That's the best race of the racetrack, and that is right there for that 6th spot. Lawson fighting back on the high line. Taylor looks like the tires may be giving up the outside. Give the advantage. 9 car Brandon Lawson. He's going to win that battle for that spot. Brandon Lawson going to maintain the 6th position here as they put now 144 laps of this 200 up on the board.
Not so fast. Jonathan Taylor back down to the bottom side once again here in the turn number 1. Almost slight contact again. Couldn't fit a sheet of paper in between those two drivers. Through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway here into turn number 3. Still door handle to door handle. Imaginary door handle. Imaginary door handle. This time giving each other just a little bit of room. Jonathan Taylor just don't have the giddy up and go off the corner there in that number 1 machine, Phil. That, as we would say in dirt track racing, that's forward bite in that number 1 machine. It's just the number 9 is able to stay in the throttle longer. He's making that outside groove work for him here, and that's a great race between that number 9 and that 1 machine. I don't want to go away from this one.
No, I really don't either. I'm trying to see if anything's going on up front, and everybody's kind of set where they set them. Mercurio's leading Taylor Morgan's, Corey Carpenter, Brandon Hawken, Michael Frisch. The attention right now is that great race of the 6th spot. Jonathan Taylor's car to the inside. Brandon Lawson almost pinching into the outside wall. Look at how close these guys are racing. Almost can't put a credit card between them. Taylor drives it deep into turn 3, makes the run stick, but can't quite get back to the power there. Tremendous side-by-side racing here, Todd. The problem these guys are having racing this hard for 6th, well, look at out ahead. These guys up there, the Michael Frisches, the Brandon, Hawkins of the world, they're starting to get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller outside their windshield. How long do you think these guys can afford to keep racing? I mean, it's a great picture, but they may see a race, up there for potentially a win me going up in smoke. And just as I say that, looks at the 1 car, kind of pulls over, lets the 9 car go. That opens the door for the 64 car of Tyler Head. Tyler, please throw me some sunflower seeds. 64 car down to the outside, racing for the 7th spot into turn 3.
That's going to be a power move by the 64 of Tyler Head, but the 1 did not roll over and die there for that number 9 machine. He's just getting out of shape down on the bottom. He just can't hold it down there, and he's getting loose off the exit of the corner, and he's not able to stay up alongside that number 9. Maybe heated up his tires just a little bit. That allowed Tyler Head to get a nice run on the outside of the number 1 machine of Jonathan Taylor. Going to be able to complete that pass for that 7th spot, so bring the 64 up to P number 7, the number 1 back to P8, now falling under assault from the number 71 of Chris Wetz. Wetz right there on his rear bumper coming off the corner.
Yeah, Chris Wetz having a good run once again. No surprise at all. He gets around these short tracks well. Really good at Phoenix, really good on the short tracks. Chris Wetz has that number 71 Ford having a tremendous run up there, currently running in that 9th spot there. That battle was kind of settled down, Todd. Was kind of looking back up front, thought Taylor Morgan's maybe running down Merck a little bit in the 44. Well, the answer to that is kind of no. It's a half-second advantage, about 8 or 9 car lengths as they work their way now through turns number 3 and 4, flashing by the start-finish line. We are under 50 laps to go in the Z200, the 2nd race of the FTF Series, Verizon Cup Series playoffs. Next week, we're going to be out on a road course somewhere. It's up in the air if we're going to see the Charlotte Roval. We may see another road course. We are going to go right and left next week here for an elimination race, race number 3 of the first round for the playoffs. Will be a tremendous show for us, but just looking for good racing going on here, Todd. Looks like that number 01 of Michael Frisch, may have run down the 30 of Corey Carpenter. That's a good race developing there for that 4th spot as they work their way now toward the backstretch toward turn 3.
Yeah, you're watching that nice battle going on. I'm watching the nice battle that's been going around in the 10th position between the 37 machine of Ryan Naraki, 53 of Justin Malello, the number 8 machine, who is now falling back into the clutches of Blake McCandless, who's 1 lap down. So that's not really a battle on the track. 26 starting to make some headway here, but also 2 laps down to the rest of the field here. So the 8 of Jordan Buster just falling victim here to the guys that are laps down. So that's putting a little bit more tense of a relationship with these lap cars. The number 53 of Justin Malello, he's also a lap down. So really not a lot of battles going on for the top positions here, but we're seeing some nice battles going on for positions right around 15th, 16th, 17th. Those guys all 1 lap down, but nice battling going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, battle going on there. But I got to ask these guys out there in the chat box, lap cars matter. Maybe a hashtag, can we get that trending? Lap cars matter. You see those guys out there racing hard, and of course they matter. I'm a lap car. I hope I have rights out there on the racetrack. Great racing going on here is the closing stages of the Z200 here at the Richmond International Raceway starting to come to fruition. We're getting toward that magic number there, Todd. We started with about 61, 62 laps to go. Well, we talked about maybe potentially cutting that run in half. Well, we're just about there. probably about a dozen laps or so, we're going to get to that magic number of 30. So I think the questions start to creep into these guys who may be looking to gain a little bit of track position. Guys, outside that top 5, maybe Brandon Lawson, Tyler Head, that great battle they got. Do these guys have any benefit of maybe coming in and short pitting, maybe a little bit tad early? What do you think? Do these guys, gain anything if they come in, say, 10 laps before splitting up this run? How much time do you think these guys gain to stand?
Not sure. It's about as much time as time. Man, I'm not sure, Phil. You threw me a bone, and I have nothing for you there. I was looking, and I was fat-fingering keyboard stuff here on Full Velocity TV, but great racing going on out here. I'm trying to get awesome camera angles out there, Phil. Trying to make sure that these guys get all the footage that they need throughout the field. We're the type of broadcast company that doesn't just broadcast the top 3, the top 2. We like to broadcast to everybody throughout the field, battles throughout the field. I think we've showcased that a lot here this evening, and we're going to continue to do that here as I'm just looking right now at the 64 machine of Tyler Head. This is the 7th position for the 64. There was a nice battle going on between him and Chris Wetz in the 71 machine. So just trying to showcase that. But as far as pit strategy goes, Phil, I want to go down here momentarily and get those Goodyear Eagles and try to make something out of them. The later you wait here in this run, the less chance you're going to have here, I do believe, if it's going to stay green, do believe to make that effective here. So you might see some 2-tire strategies too. You might see guys pit late for 2 tires.
Well, I like it. I want to ask the chat box, what do you think? Do you come in now? Do you wait 10 more laps? Do you run this son of a gun empty, and come in maybe for a quick 2-tire and splash and go? And I'm going to do just that. You know why? Because my luck is I short pit, yellow flag would come out, trap me a lap down. Guy's probably ahead of me, not going to get a wave around. Not going to do it. I'm going to run the thing full. I'm going to try my chances. Yes, I might give up a little bit of track position, but you never know, Todd. A yellow flag comes out. You may come out smelling like a rose, something I often don't do. So I'll try it here tonight. We'll see if any of these guys kind of try it. But up front, we've had a lead change. Taylor Morgan's around the number 44 of Brian Mercurio. We saw Brian kind of short pit earlier, Todd. He's now surrounded the race lead. Do you think that scenario may enter the 44 equation? We know he's gained time short pitting. How much longer do you think the 44 car tends to wait now that Taylor Morgan's not only run him down, he's passed him for the lead?
I wouldn't doubt, I wouldn't wait too long there in that 44 machine. If you're going to do that type of strategy, seeing a little bit of smoke down here. It looks like a little bit of dust and smoke on the front straightaway. Maybe somebody ran through the grass, wasn't happy with the way the guys cut the grass here at Richmond. But the 44, I would actually try to pit as soon as I could if you're going to use that type of strategy, Phil. Maybe he's just riding around and saving his tires here as he was leading that event, but Taylor Morgan's ran him down pretty quickly here. It looks like Mercurio did heat up his tires in that 44 machine. Now about 5 or 6 car lengths separated between himself and the 36 Taylor Morgan's. Morgan's running a more conservative groove right now to conserve his tires in that number 36 machine. So it's kind of up in the air, Phil. I want to see what these guys are going to do. Maybe they're not even going to pit at all.
Well, we asked the chat box that. I want to know what they're thinking. But Todd, I have another question for you. Do you think it's time that we give away a little bit of candy? What do you think?
Yeah, we definitely can give away candy, but the rules are, guys, and you can't put anything in the chat box right now. Do not do that. You'll get disqualified. Okay, so the rules are here with Kabang Energy Candy. The first person to pick that driver that goes across the start-finish line here on Full Velocity TV. If nobody picks that driver, nobody wins. But if you're the first driver to cross that start-finish line, you picked them first out there on the screen. And we're watching this chat box rather closely, Phil. Make sure you pay attention. The first guy to pick it will win that Kabang Energy Candy. So we're going to start right now. Pick your favorite driver. Who's going to win here this evening?
Yeah, I want to see those picks coming in. And I don't know. Todd, I'll go first here tonight because you did this to me last night. And, you picked the guy up front. So let's see. We're going to do that tonight. You damn right we're going to do that tonight. I am going to pick Taylor Morgan's to go to victory lane in the 36 car. I know I'm not eligible for the candy. I'm still waiting for my package to come in because I do want to try some of this really cool Kabang Energy candy. Special thanks to those guys for sponsoring what we're going to do here on Full Velocity TV. Cool to be able to give this stuff away. But you took our leader last night about this, Todd. Todd. I'm going to do the same thing tonight. Taylor Morgan is going to win the Z200.
I figured you would do that. You know, it's almost a sure bet sometimes when Taylor Morgan's is out front. But I like it. I think something weird is going to happen. I think something funky is going to happen. Yellow flag's going to come out. Something's going to happen. Brian Mercurio is going to win this race in that 44 machine just because he seems to be a better short-run driver. Here he comes down on pit road right now, so maybe he don't want that right now. But 44 Brian Mercurio coming down to the aid of his pit crew. But that's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to stick with him, Phil.
Well, I think that's a good pick, and I see guys out there in the chat box. They've started to come in, seeing picks for Brandon Hawken out there. I like that trendy pick as well. See picks for Taylor Morgan, seeing Mercurio out there. Anybody going to go off the grain and maybe take outside the top three? I want to see what these guys are all thinking. But Mercurio's number 44, number Ford on pit road, that Alliance trucking machine onto his stall. Right side tires up in the air. It's going to swing around a 4-tire pit stop. So the 44 pitting with 27 laps to go. Mercurio, we're going to elect 4 tires. We know he's the fastest car in Richmond here tonight. That thing has been a rocket all night long. Can Brian Mercurio rebound here and maybe go to victory lane? Looks like things are changing up front, Todd, as we speak.
So since the chat box filled, and we've been talking about Brian Mercurio as he's pissed up, since the chat box has been so good all evening long, the numbers have been great, guys, out there in the chat box. I'm going to give away another bag of Bang Energy candy, and that's going to be for the driver who finishes second. So if you picked, you got 2 chances to win that Bang Energy candy here this evening. This time, 2 chances. Thank you to the YouTube chat box. Thank you guys for all attending here and watching the race here this evening. So we're going to do the top 2 here this evening. We appreciate all your guys out there, all your guys' input, and thank you very much here for watching Full Velocity TV and the FTF Verizon Cup Series.
And 2 packages of candy going away out there. Todd, that's pretty good. Usually a pretty stingy guy with that stuff, but yeah, really cool of you to do. Great that you've all tuned in. We have had pit stops turn the complexion of this race kind of upside down. We saw Mercurio on pit road. Taylor Morgans has been in. Chris Wetz has been in. Michael Frisch, Brandon Hawken, Corey Carpenter, all those guys have come down for service. Right now, the current race leader is the 64 car of Tyler Head, as I'm trying to scramble back here through the running order and see where the 64 car may be. 64, David Sunflower Seeds Camaro. He is down on pit road, so he is going to surrender his way out of the race lead with 23 laps remaining. We'll see what Tyler Head does in that situation. Right side tire is going up in the air. I'm assuming it's going to be at least 2 rights. The question is it going to be 2 lefts as well? They're going to swing around. Jack going to go in the air. 4 tires for the 64 car of Tyler Head. He was our leader last time around, but looking at the way these guys may cycle through pit stops, Todd, it looks like Brian Mercurio is 44. He may be the guy who wins that race here of all these guys that have now come in for service. And the consensus up and down pit road, all 4 tires. I'm really puzzled.
Nobody rolling the dice here, watching the 3 of Steve Rada here on the screen. And I believe a tire went down on the right front of that number 3 machine, and he's really abused his tires here this evening, just riding around on the rim. Don't see the sparks flying, but indeed riding around on the rim for Steve Rada. That's not where he wanted to be here, so we're just watching him come down on pit road. I just seen some smoke out there, so it was rather interesting. But now it's cycled back through there, Phil. Brian Mercurio, your race leader here, with almost, it's about 20 to go. It's 22 laps to go here for Brian Mercurio. The 36 Taylor Morgan's right there, hot on his rear in that number 36 machine. The 9 of Brandon Lawson still right there. He's only .800 back. So it's still anybody's race out there. So we're going to have to wait and see how this is going to unfold. We know Taylor Morgan's is a rhythm driver. He loves rhythm tracks. This is a rhythm track. Richmond has been noted for rhythm. And once you're in a rhythm and you're in a constant here, like the 36 is going to be here over a long run, he's just been the fastest here tonight. Brian Mercurio has the fastest short run car. 36, Taylor Morgan has the fastest long run car.
Well, we got less than 20 laps remaining here in the Z200 to sell it. Mercurio's got the lead off the turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, the 36 car is there. He's going to peek to the inside. 44 going to take away the run. Will the 36 check up? He kind of halfway lays back in the gas. He stays planted down to the inside. Can't quite pull up alongside. He does not have that position. Mercurio going to fend off the challenge into turn 1, 36 sliding up the racetrack. He gets that great lunge shift there, Todd, down to the low side. Here comes Taylor Morgan side by side for the race lead. Contact as they hit turn 3.
Contact made between the 36 and the 44. Mercurio down there into turns 3 and 4. Off down the back straight, or front straightaway, excuse me, into turn 1. Once again, Morgan's back down to the bottom side, trying to slide up the track here in front of Mercurio. Not going to be able to do so here. Mercurio fighting back on the outside. Side by side battle coming down into turn number 3. Almost contact made there once again. Great racing going on for that top spot.
Oh, this is tremendous racing here. If this doesn't get you excited, guys, I don't think you really have a pulse, because this is just tremendous. Taylor Morgan's our defending series champion, the points leader, last week's winner. He's to the inside of Brian Mercurio, who is the pole sitter here. He won stage number 1. He's doing all he can do, a game challenge on the outside lane. Can he maybe come back to the high side and challenge? He's right there to the right rear. Taylor Morgan's going to take the lead there all to himself. 36 back up front as they hit turn 2.
Back up to a familiar sight for that number 36 machine. Nothing in front of him. Here comes Mercurio back down to the bottom. He's trying to make a run on the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. No prevail there as they come off of turn number 4. Here's a flash by the start-finish line. We're on lap 185 of 200. About 15 laps remain here at Richmond, and it's going to be a battle up here, a barn burner, I do believe, between the 44 and the 36. They're going to have no tires left, I almost guarantee it. If a yellow flag does come out there, though, Phil, I'm going to tell you that's going to be a game changer here for these guys, but I don't think we're going to see that. I want to see clean and green. I hope the YouTube chat box does too. Taylor Morgan's about a 5-car length advantage going into turn 1.
Yeah, and I just saw a really good battle there for third in about the last 2 laps. The 0-1 of Michael Frisch made a power move underneath the 9 car of Brandon Lawson. The tires of the 9 may be giving up a little bit, as well as I say that now, the 25 car of Brandon Hawkins going to sneak by. Chris Wetz's 71 car also there. He may take that position as I somehow end up in the infield. I have to reset that real quick. But, yeah, good racing going on all over the place at Richmond as we're getting close to that. You know, those money laps there, Todd, 188 on the board. It's the Dirty Dozen time, 12 laps to settle it. All chasing now. Race leader Taylor Morgan's off of turn 4.
As we're riding in cockpit with the man, the myth, the legend right now, I'm going to say, even though we said that for Schildhaus, he won the championship last year, looking for 2 in a row here for championships at FTF, the Verizon Cup. We're inside the cockpit of the 36 as he goes to work here in the final laps, just giving it a nice little ride around Richmond Speedway here with the number 36 fast brake machine, Taylor Morgan's.
That's a great ride right there, too, for the 36 car. He's starting to pull away from Mercurio's number 44. Michael Frisch, he's right there about 1 second behind that good battle there. He's currently running third. The best battle on the racetrack now, Todd, is for that, I believe, 5th spot between the 9 car of Brandon Lawson, the 71 of Chris Wetz. Chris has been pestering all over that DC Solar Chevrolet of Brandon Lawson. Chris Wetz looking to try to finish up this race in the top 5. He was just to the inside. Just as I say that, he washes back up the racetrack. Now going to look back low. 71 trying to make that run on the 9. Single file as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, still single file racing between the 9 of Brandon Lawson and the 71 of Chris Wetz. Corey Carpenter right now running in that 7th spot. Jonathan Taylor having a good run here inside the top 10 all evening long. Right now running 8th. Tyler Head running 9th. Ryan Naraki, the last car inside the top 10 in that number 37 machine. You got Jordan Buster, Arlo Columbia, Nick Baker. Those guys round out your cars left on the lead lap. Only 13 cars right now, Phil, on the lead lap here at Richmond. And we are getting ready to complete lap 193 up on the board, or 192 up on the board, excuse me. About 8 laps remain here around Richmond.
Yep, running out of laps here, running out of time to cover all these great battles going on all over the place. I've been looking for, maybe the closest ones on the racetrack, Todd. I've been just kind of clicking all over the place, and right now, I just covered it. That battle for that 6th spot looks to be the most contested on the racetrack. Really nothing there as far as, a transfer of position. Brandon being able to hold off that challenge, but as they hit turn number 1, the 71, he pulls right up to the back bumper of the 9 car. Great battle there as they're going to race for the 5th spot as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, it's about the battle that's going on around the speedway. We just took a look around what was going on there, Phil, while you were mentioning that battle, and this is probably the closest battle at Richmond right now. The 71 of Chris Wetz down to the bottom side once again. That's a 9 of Brandon Lawson up on the outside of him here in the number 9 machine. Like I said, the 71 down to the bottom here, trying to run it deep down here into turn number 3. It's still side-by-side racing action. This is for that 5th spot. Trying to get inside the top 5 is Chris Wetz in that number 71 machine, just trying to get a good points night here. May not be able to win it, but he's trying to get that points night here and trying to get those valuable points for the 71 machine. The number 9 of Brandon Lawson trying to do the same. 30 of Corey Carpenter. Watching these guys battle as he's ticking away and chipping away at these guys that had a little bit of a lead there. Now down to about 3 car lengths, down to 2 car lengths down the front straightaway. It's going to be a 3-car battle here momentarily for that 5th spot.
Yeah, it really is. And Corey was a full half straight away behind these guys when they started racing side by side. And that shows you what side by side racing does. As the 9-car washed up the hill, Corey Carpenter able to make that run there for the 6th spot. He's going to look low now underneath the 71 of Wetz. Corey Carpenter trying to put his name up into the ranks of the top 5. He'll do so as they head toward turn 1.
Yeah, Carpenter making some moves there in that number 30 machine, up almost alongside of the 71 of Chris Wetz here through the corner, almost making contact. He makes contact with the outside wall. That allows the 9 of Brandon Lawson to be able to fight back down on the inside. Side-by-side battle for that 6th spot now. Brandon Lawson wants to get back in front of that number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter. Not going to be able to do so. Carpenter closes the door.
Carpenter slamming the door shut there in that great battle for position. But Todd, we're looking at white flag next time around. It may be a sort of a coronation here for the 36 of Taylor Morgans. Did this 1 week ago at Las Vegas, trying to make it 2 in a row here. The point leader, the defending series champion, and if there's a statement made, there was nothing to gain here racing for stages. He transferred his way in. Well, it may eliminate these guys, you know, another chance for a transfer spot off of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air. Taylor Morgans picking up his 2nd win of the playoffs. He wins the Z200 at Richmond.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan's picking up the Z200 here at Richmond. And that Reese's Fast Break making it 2 for 2 here on Full Velocity TV. Brian Mercurio finishing up 2nd. Michael Fritz finishing up 3rd. Brandon Hawkins 4th. 5th is going to be Chris Wetz. Number 30 of Corey Carpenter finishing up 6th. 7th, Brandon Lawson. Tyler Head, Jonathan Taylor, Ryan Naraki, Jordan Buster are in Columbia finishing up 12th. 13th was Nick Breaker. Kyle Riley, finishing up 14th in the 43. Blake McCandless also a lap down. Justin Malello 16th. Jake Poulin 17th. 18th to 26th of Kevin McAdams, Nick Gunther, Cosman, and Steve Reda as Taylor Morgans burns them down here at Richmond as we go and look and take a look-see here as he's got a nice smoke show here for the guys here at Richmond. Congratulations to Taylor Morgan picking up the victory here tonight in the FTF Verizon Cup Series here on Full Velocity TV.
Yeah, he did. That was a tremendous run by Taylor Morgans, making it 2 in a row. Tremendous run by all these guys out here tonight. Could you have asked for a better race than we got here this evening? These guys at FTF, as always, they live up to the money. When all the chips are down, these guys really deliver, and they did just that here at Richmond here tonight. Todd, we're going to move into the post-race show. You're going to shoot down toward Victory Lane, talk to the race winner, Taylor Morgans, and I'm going to try to dial up these top 3. Trying to chase all these guys down. They all sit in team channels, and you gotta track down who is where. I think we have tracked down all 3. We'll get Brian up here and slow on the button here. A lot to move around in the team speak. Think we've got our top 3 figured out. Now I'm gonna run all the way down here, and we'll see if we can't catch up with the driver of the number 01. That is Michael Frisch. Michael, my friend, first time we get to talk to you on Full Velocity TV. A solid run for you tonight behind the wheel of the 01. Tell us about that. That was a great race.
Oh, it was awesome, man. From start to finish. No problems, no mistakes.
A lot to move around.
But beating that 36 car, there's nothing for it. We tried to pull strategy. There was nothing we could do. He was a guy to beat tonight for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've had a hell of a run, tonight. And, tremendous job by you coming to FTF. I mean, I've talked about it time and time again. And a guy like you who races here on an often basis, can you find a more competitive group of guys out here from top to bottom? You come out here to FTF on a Sunday night. There is no time to lollygag and relax. You got to get up on the wheel and drive your heart out the best you could possibly do. And you got to be worn out after 200 laps here at Richmond, 4 caution flags. Talk about the conditioning, man. That's got to be exhausting.
I can't feel my knees and my ankles anymore. Definitely difficult. The competitiveness in this field is very hard. You got to put 110% every week. These guys are top-notch guys. You know, they give their 100% every week, and you got to go out there and give it your all.
Well, a guy that comes in, we talk about it's playoff time. You're a guy not in the playoff points, coming out here to race for a checkered flag, and you really put one hell of a show out there tonight. The 0-1 coming home in the third spot. Michael, great to talk to you for the first time here at Full Velocity TV. We have had a full chat box all night long. The viewership has been tremendous. There's a lot of guys out there watching, so I'm going to give you the mic. Say hello to them all. Thank some sponsors. Hello, friends or family. The floor is all yours, bud.
Just wanted to thank the 0-1, man, for giving me the ride. I don't do this often, regular basis, not really, but part-time, I'm here to do it and give these guys in the chase a run for their money, man.
And there's no better way to do it. Well, Michael, on behalf of all of us here at Full Velocity TV, great to talk to you. Love bringing new names into the conversation. A top 3 runner FTF. Be proud of yourself, man. I as a driver, I couldn't dream of doing it. So, job well done, brother. Good job, and let's do this again soon. What do you say?
I appreciate it, man. I'll be here next weekend.
All right. That's Michael Frisch, the number 0-1 car tonight. I believe that's Jake Poulin's car full time, but Michael giving it such a great run here tonight, up in the top 3. So we'll leave him alone, and we'll run all the way down here toward pit road and talk to the curator, the head of what we can call Merc Nation out there in that chat box tonight. Brian Mercurio, Phil the cast of Full Velocity TV. Tremendous run for that 44 car. The fastest guy in all of Richmond here tonight, and that short run, but golly, was that 36 car tough to pass and tough to catch up to.
Yeah, definitely. I was just talking with Taylor here. We both agreed that I definitely had the better short run car. Over the course of a long run, he definitely had it. He said even a little bit of right side damage that he had kind of tightened up his car, and as the long run happened, you're getting a lot of wheel spin off the corner, so being a little tight on corner exit allowed him to keep it on the throttle. So my big advantage of early exit or early entry and getting all the momentum on exit, it didn't really help me in the long run, so I couldn't really use that to my advantage, and he just pulled away.
Well, now let's do a little bit of forward thinking. You came in tonight third in the standings. Taylor obviously advancing into the next round here by way of now 2 wins in this series of, the round of 16. Kevin McAdams had a rough night. You were third in the standings. How do you feel about your advanced chances? There's a little bit of pressure off as we head to whatever road course we're going to see here right and left next week. How do you feel as we head toward the road course next weekend?
I feel pretty good. I knew actually going in tonight, I needed to get as many points as I can. I feel I did a pretty good job with winning the first stage. I only finished 10th in the second stage, so I mean, a point's a point, and I finished second in the race. That's pretty good. I'm actually not going to be here for the Roval here in FTF. I'm going to be there at the actual race myself. So I knew tonight coming in I needed to bank as many points as I could, just try and build a gap so that I should advance. I feel pretty good about it. With the points that are there right now, it'd mean everybody below me has to run super, super well, and I think I pretty much built a good gap, and I should be good for the next round.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. Well, Brian, congratulations. Tremendous run. You got to be a hell of a race car driver in this community to keep up with a guy like Taylor Morgan's, but you were the best shot to do that here tonight. Congratulations on a runner-up finish. The talent you have shown behind the wheel all season. I'm expecting to talk to you here in Victory Lane again soon, but as we do here at Custom on Full Velocity TV, the first time we get to talk to you, my friend, I'm going to give you the mic one last time. We've had an awesome crowd on YouTube Live here tonight. A lot of people follow FTF. Give a shout out to all of them now who may be watching.
Yeah, definitely thank you guys for watching here on YouTube. Anybody who's supporting me and anybody else on my team, call ourselves Macaroni Salad, Autosport. Shout out to any of you guys supporting me, anybody supporting our team. That's pretty cool. And I know I'm not going to be here next week. I can't defend my road course win that I had back at Watkins Glen, but for the round of 12, starting in 2 weeks, I'll definitely be there and looking to advance into the round of 8.
Well, Brian, we are absolutely looking forward to it. Great job by you. Second place run tonight, Todd, for the 44 car of Brian Mercurio. Too awesome to talk to some new names up here as we talk to Michael, we talk to Brian, but you get to greet a familiar friend down there in Victory Lane. It's been Hold Hat. We have done this a billion times before, and for the second time in the FTF playoffs, we find that familiar. 36 car of Taylor Morgan sees a victory lane with Mr. Todd Stanton.
Down here in Victory Lane was greeting the guys out there in the YouTube chat box. Was greeting them with who actually won the snacks here tonight, the candy, I should say, here this evening. And down here in Victory Lane, though, with Taylor Morgan's. And as David Schildhouse put it out there, another TM36 smackdown here tonight, Taylor. That's how Schildhouse is putting it. But fantastic race. You definitely had the better, longer run car than anybody else out there. And I was kind of chomping at the bit there and trying to figure out what was going on. What was your strategy call there towards the middle of the race? It was around almost a lap 100. You came down. You didn't take any stage points. You came down and took tires. Tell us your strategy there.
Oh, that was no strategy. I was going to run out of gas. Yeah, I was. If I stayed out for the stage, I was just going to run out of gas on the front stretch, taking the white. So yeah, I had to pit early.
Oh, so no strategy there for Taylor Morgan's, Phil. So he was going to run out of gas. So we're gonna Phil and I were kind of contemplating if you were just going down there just to try to get off sequence with some of those guys.
Well, it ended up helping. I didn't need the stage anyway. But yeah, I was going to run out of gas, so no strategy.
Okay, so no strategy. So Taylor, tell us about this run here tonight. It was a fantastic run. You and Merck had a great run. Side-by-side battles throughout there. It took you a little bit of time to come up to the front there through stage 1. But a great battle nonetheless here as you were making your way through that field.
Yeah, we had a lot of good guys here tonight. It was really tough working my way up to the pack. But yeah, that race with Brian was really fun. Got a little antsy there. I thought I was going to take him out. I thought I was going to wash up in 3 and spin him. I really didn't want to do that, but I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, that was a really fun race. Glad I got the W, and glad you say Schildhouse picked me.
Actually, he wanted to pick you, but somebody else picked you in the YouTube chat box, and I just said who it was, and I was trying to look through here. Bob Tompkins actually picked you out there, so he was the first guy to pick you. I know Schildhouse said that you were the guy to beat, and he says you're going to win the championship. That's what he's predicting already. So I know that's races away, so I'm not going to try to jinx you or nothing. I know Schildhouse is not trying to, but he's a big fan of yours, Taylor, out there on YouTube.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But yeah, he probably did jinx me, so that kind of sucks.
Well, Taylor, I'm going to give you a microphone so you can thank as many people as you'd like to thank here this evening, and hopefully that jinx is gone, and we don't see any repeats of anything prior that's happened before with anybody.
Well, yeah, once again, thanks to you guys and the FTF staff. Thanks, Kevin. But yeah, thanks to everyone for the broadcast, and thanks for the guys for putting the really good setup together, and yeah.
Well, just for the record there, Todd, I'll take it back from for Victory Lane. Taylor winning 2 in a row. Taylor, just for the record, I picked you before the chat box did. So, some love, brother. Great job. Great run for all you guys.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Taylor Morgan's taking down the win here this evening at FTF here at Richmond, the Z200. One more race to go left in this round of 16. And Justin Malello, we look to next week to road course racing. Can you make the big announcement now? Where is the racing going to be next week, and how do these points look going into the road course next weekend?
Well, I guess I'm at liberty to say we will be running at Charlotte next week. The guys over at NR Track Designs have been putting a lot of hard work into making something race ready for us. It's not an official track. It's going to be in beta. It's not an official release, but FTF is lucky enough that we're going to be able to get a working version of it. It's going to have as many bells and whistles as possible on it. So it's cool that we're going to be getting, the first go at the Charlotte Roval there. But, I'm going to be, hounding Adam, who's a part of that team. We're going to be hounding him to do some testing and stuff through the week so we make sure we don't have any issues. But moving on to the points, it's getting really crazy at the cutoff. So Taylor, I guess he double advances now that he's won twice. So good for Taylor. He ran a really good race tonight. I'm sure Brian doesn't feel the same way. I think Brian was up there and dominating for a while, but he got a respectable second place finish, and he can go into next week breathing easy along with Kevin McAdams, knowing that both of them, no matter what happens, will advance to the round of 12. They have enough points. They had to be 55 points ahead of 11th place in case of a new winner. That's either 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th currently. So Kevin is what is he? He's 59 points ahead, and Brian is 58 points ahead of our 11th place driver. So both of them advance to the next round. Corey, he's not so lucky. He's only 53 points ahead of 11th place, so he's not advanced. But as long as there's not a new winner, 13th through 16th, he is going to advance, even if he doesn't show up next week. He's got a 53-point lead over 11th place. So now I'm going to switch to the cutoff. Brandon Lawson and Chris Wetz. Brandon's 5th in points. He has 29 points over the cutoff. Then Chris Wetz has 28 points over the cutoff, and Tyler Head has 25 points over the cutoff. All three of those guys are looking pretty decent. As long as they have respectable races next week at the Roval, they should have no problem moving on. But here's where it gets really, really, really hairy. 8th through 14th is only separated by 7 points. We start in 8th place. Myself, I am only 6 points ahead of the cutoff. Then Cosmin Ayanishu is in 9th. He is 6 points ahead of the cutoff. Ryan Naraki, he is 5 points ahead of the cutoff. Nick Baker is 11th. He is 3 points, or 4. Wait, I can't math right now. I was 6, Cosmo was 5, Ryan was 4. Baker's got to be 3 points ahead of the cutoff. And then Kyle Riley currently holds the tiebreaker for having a win this season. He's in 12th, tied with Jake Poulin. There is no point separating those two, but the tiebreaker goes to Kyle Riley for having the win on the season. Then Jordan Buster is 1 point behind them in 14th. Arnold Columbia and Zach Buchanan, both having a retire in this round, are both pretty much needing a win at this point. They are 16 points. They're tied for 15th, 16 points out of the cutoff. So 16 points is a pretty big gap considering the size of the fields that we've been having. So look for Arnold or Zach to really be, trying hard for a win next week at the Roval.
Well, man, that is quite the update there. That looks like drama is going to play out at the Roval at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Justin Malello, great job to you as always getting these points together quick. And golly, what an awesome race for you guys tonight. I think 4 caution flags for 200 laps at Richmond. Racing at FTF has been great all year, and this is just another one you guys can check off. Congratulations, brother. What a good run for all you guys.
Yeah, it was a great race for the league. We had 25 people starting tonight, 21 of them finishing, 13 of them finishing on the lead lap, and only having 4 cautions tonight. Unfortunately, I was one of those cautions, and also, unfortunately, I was not one of those drivers on the lead lap. I personally had a really tough night, but I know you're not here to talk to me about that. I'm just venting a little bit, but it was a good night. I mean, we had we came into Richmond with high hopes because we usually have a really good race here, and it was going to be a little bit crazier, I thought, because of the Roval next week and not knowing what we were going to be expecting next week. We're still not knowing what we're expecting. I mean, hell, it's going to be a crapshoot 8th through 14th, I think. But we'll see what happens next week, and I'm really excited to be heading down to Charlotte for it.
Well, Justin, as always, sometimes the guy in charge gets a participation trophy too. So just like your Giants and Todd's Bills today picking up a win, we'll take my L today. But great job to you as always, buddy. We'll do this again next week and catch up. Congratulations and better luck next week at the Roval, buddy. What do you say?
Yeah, I'd say that the Giants won today and the Cowboys didn't. That's all I need to know. So enjoy your evening, gentlemen.
All right, Justin Malello joining us there, and got to take a jab for once that you guys get on the winning end of things, and I get the, as usual, sitting on the losing end. So thanks for everybody out there on YouTube Live tonight for tuning in, Todd. Just a start of what is going to be a busy, busy weekend, a twofer, and some triple headers to come here later on in the week. How you feeling, brother? We have a lot left to do.
I'm feeling pretty good, Phil, as I'm moving my microphone around here. Love this blue microphone that I have, and love how it's been working for me here since we started Full Velocity TV back up. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm game. You might want to, I should say this week, you might want to ask me towards the end of the weekend when we get back here next week for the Roval how tired I'm actually going to be.
All right, well, I got a lot of studying to do just to see how many turns are to the Roval and how they all transcend, but that's a lot for me to do. We have a lot to do on Full Velocity TV. Salute to Service Week rolls on tomorrow night. Practice session for the Jerry Sumlin Memorial Race to be held October 1st. We're going to cover an open round of practice tomorrow evening, probably about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check into Full Velocity's TV Facebook page. We are going to be covering the entire tune-up live on our airwaves. And then we're going to switch over for championship night, the Salute the Heroes race for TDR's iRacing division. The RTZ Open Pro Late Models will crown a championship tomorrow night. Green flag and roll off right around 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If that's not all for you, Tuesday night, a triple header over at ASTA. We're going to crown 3 champions there on Tuesday night for 3 awesome divisions. Wednesday night, back to DWR Dirt Warrior Racing for a little bit of non-point action. Wednesday night street fights. That'll be a lot of fun to cover Wednesday night. If you guys haven't seen that racing, go back to the YouTube catalog. 3 tremendous events we have covered with those guys, and we're going to have season 3 on the air. If that's not enough, Thursday night we roll over back to ASTA for 3 more championship rounds in 3 divisions there, including the 305 midgets, the SK modifieds, more to come here. So 6 champions at ASTA, 1 at TDR. We will have that covered in the iRacing simulation all week long. Back here once again in the NR community next Saturday night, the Wounded Warrior Project 140. We're teaming up this week for Velocity TV with our buddies over at TDR Racing and everybody out there. The Wounded Warrior Project 140 is just a prelude to the Wounded Warrior Project fundraiser we are putting on all week. Head over to the Full Velocity Facebook and donate to our Wounded Warriors now, as we salute to all the guys that make up the service of this country. First responders, service members, all of them in between. We salute them. We pay homage to them this week. And just a little token of what we can do, we selected the Wounded Warriors as our charity. So head over now, make your donation. And for all those tuning in just for FTF, we'll be back here 1 week from tonight. We debut the Roval live on Full Velocity TV. So until next time, for Todd, I am Phil. Stay tuned this week, guys. It is going to be busy. Full Velocity TV unleashing in a big way. We will see you tomorrow night.